Gian, thank you very, very much for your time today. Nice to catch up with you, actually. It's been a while.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to talk about more Asian Champions League stuff.
Yeah, it's back. I'm excited. Are you?
Very. It's nice to see three Thai teams in the group stage. I did not expect that at all. And yeah, the groups look really exciting. So definitely.
They do, and it's this third year in a row now, I think, in terms of BG Pathum United's participation in the ACL group stage. Now, they made it to the round of 16 in 2021, then the quarters in 2022.
Mm.
How do you think they will approach the competition this year? Is there any pressure to keep constantly improving, or is it just about trying to test themselves and then see how it all goes?
Well, I think the Asian Champions League has really like elevated the club. I think reaching those big, continental games and traveling, it's been really great for growing the team's profile. I think BG have surpassed Muangthong as the second most supported club by like attendances in the stadium. Their profile is definitely growing a lot, and I think that the to some extent, I would say that sort of their performance in Asia is kind of more in their own hands than their performance in the league in some way. So I mean, they want to win both. They want to win the Thai league and they want to get to the quarterfinals again of the Asian Champions League. But I think there's something a bit special about the Asian Champions League that definitely is helping BG grow. And now they've added Chanatip to their squad, where they already have Tirasin and Saraj, who are players who have played at a very high level in Asia. So they're certainly equipped to to make the most of things on those big nights, as they showed against Shanghai. And I think that they probably have more of that in their locker. They believe. I don't know if I
Yeah,
do, but certainly they do.
for sure. And this is the return of the home and away sort of format finally.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
like you said earlier, just about the level of support that they have. That's only going to be a big boost for them, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And they their stadium is pretty much full, close to full in all the big games they play. So I have no doubt in the Asian Champions League, it's going to be a great atmosphere for them.
And did I read that the game against Muangthong this weekend is sold out?
Yep, it is. It's sold out on a Wednesday, which is like I've never seen that in Thai football ever. And so
Incredible.
Muangthong is my club. I'm going to be there in the away end, and
Okay,
yeah,
I see.
causing havoc to them. I think we should give them a tough 90 minutes. So that should help Ulsan if we can wear them down.
Yeah, well, how have they've been playing so far this season? I know it's obviously early days, but I think unbeaten in three at the time of recording with the game against Muangthong to come this weekend. How have
Mhm.
they performed from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, so unbeaten in three is a good start for them, but considering the opponents they had, I think they would have expected to have sort of 6 or 7 points on the board instead of four. Um, Wait, sorry, five. Yeah, three. Yeah, they got five on the board. Expected to have maybe more than that, 6 or 7, because the home game against Prachuap, which they drew 0-0, they think they should have won that. The only game they've won in the league is against Uttaitani, who are a newly promoted team, bottom of the league in complete shambles. So had they not won that, that would be an issue. And in that game, Chanatip also got himself injured, so he missed the international break for Thailand, and he will miss the Muangthong game for sure. And it's I think 50-50 if he's back for the Ulsan game. But so far, it hasn't been a great start from them. But of course, the caveat is they went to Shanghai and they beat the team on top of the Chinese Super League, and that one result sort of completely changes the complexion. And I don't know if you like me telling you this, but my friend Ob, who works at BG, he didn't think they had a chance against Shanghai. He was not expecting himself to get to the stage, and now he's really excited. He's planning trips to Johor and all
Mm,
this. He's really,
that's
happy.
great.
But they didn't expect it at all with how they started, that they'd be able to go to Shanghai and get a result. So
Yeah,
again,
that
anything could happen.
absolutely that was a huge result and just shows how far this team has come over the last few years. But what can we expect from them tactically? Do you think?
Right. So we can't talk about the tactics without talking about the coach. And the coach is a very interesting background, interesting backstory. So he's a Thai coach. His name is Thongchai Sukoki, and he, up until recently, was mainly coaching in the second division of Thai football. He then dropped down to the fourth division with a team called the Nakhon Pathum, who are fairly decent second division team in T1 a long time ago, but they fell to the fourth division because of some financial irregularities. But he stuck with them, and he, over the course of about 6 years, he got them from Thai League 4 all the way back up to Thai League 1. And just last year, he won the Thai League 2 title, got them back to T1, then picked up by BG right away. He's also pretty famous in Thailand because he's effectively a YouTuber. So he goes on this very famous Thai football YouTube channel, and he's a regular guest on there. Since he was in T3, T4, he'd been going on there to talk about tactics, and he pretty much analyzes every national team game on there. He hasn't had time to do that since he's become a coach of a Thai League One team, or the one of the biggest teams in Thailand. He hasn't had time to keep up his YouTube career, but he became sort of popular because he'd go on YouTube and he'd break down national team games. He sort of became like the people's tactician. So since he's come into BG, he's tried to do that, and he fancies himself a bit of a, I think he thinks himself as like a Pep Guardiola of Thailand. Or that's the way he behaves. He loves to use these big long words in analyzing football games, and he tends to overthink his tactics a little bit. In those first few games, he would sort of change things. He'd be playing like we're going to do a diamond now and a back three. They're going to keep shifting things around, and it sort of just sort of comes up as confusing a lot of the time. I think he's intentionally like overthinking stuff when it could be a little bit more simple. And that's also an issue that BG squad is so sort of star-studded that it's difficult to get one system that plays every good player in all their best positions. Like, for example, there's Pitiwat, who is a box-to-box midfielder and Thai international, and he was being moved out to left back for some of it in some of the league games because you can't fit all their stars into the midfield that he wanted. So you've got that problem plus his tendency to sort of over manage. So that's been the issue. But against Shanghai, he had no choice. Like, he has to sit back and hit on the counter. He really had no options. So that worked because he didn't have anything else to experiment. There was, what can we do? We have to deal with Oscar. We have to deal with all these guys. Let's just sit back and pump it long to Tirasin and their Uzbeki striker. So that was it, and it worked. And I assume they will have to do that again against Ulsan because, like, what else can they do?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that there was a star-studded squad there, and you mentioned some big names already. Who would you say is the one or two players that you think these could win this game for BG Pathum United?
Oh, so in terms of their foreign players, standout one is Igor Sergeyev, who scored a hat trick against Shanghai. He's Uzbekistan international up top, and he just looks incredible, especially in the big games. He looks like a really potent player. If they can get the best out of him and they can get him, to hit on the counter, they could cause problems to Ulsan, to Kawasaki, or to anyone in Asia if they use him right. And then they've got almost the entire core of the national team. They've got Tirasin up top, Chanatip as number 10, Saraj in midfield. The only one missing is Tiraton, who is, of course, Buriram's captain. But they've got the national team core plus foreign players who can make a difference. So that's quite a devastating combination if they can get everybody playing, at their best form in their best position.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think Ulsan are kind of a similar team in that respect, in terms of they've got two good players for each position. They've got two monsters of target men. One is a Hungarian international, Martin Adam, but he can't seem to get in the team for some reason. Well, I say for some reason. I know why, because they've got Ju Mingyu, who's a prolific goal scorer. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. These two sort of big star-studded squads going at it over these two games in the group stage. It's going to be, yeah, interesting to see. And obviously, Ulsan have form for getting knocked out at the group stage. They did that last year, and they'll be looking to sort of bounce back and make sure that they don't do that this year. But this year, there's a new calendar. I mean, we've talked about this a little bit on Twitter DMs, but this new system starts in September, runs through to the following May. This surely then, in theory, will help teams from Southeast Asia because it's played on a similar time frame to their domestic seasons. Is that something that was fair to say?
Yeah, it definitely helps Thai teams because we've shifted over to the sort of European schedule, if you like, that runs from September until the following May. I believe the V League has as well, although their scheduling is often erratic. I'm not sure about the Malaysia Super League. I think they still follow the calendar year system, but it definitely will help Thai teams and Vietnamese teams to be playing and to be sort of gearing up for the group stage and having sort of one cohesive preseason for everything and then just playing them together. When we switched to the European system during COVID and the AFC Champions League hadn't, it led to sort of strange scenarios where teams are sort of playing like kind of in the off season, playing these huge games, one-off games in the off season, and it was like, how do you structure, as a coach, how do you plan around it? It was difficult, but now everything's on the same page. We've got the domestic league, the Champions League, all in tandem, and I think that now it's for the J League and K League to sort of adapt and be like, what are we going to do now that we've shifted the but I don't know if the advantage will be that big. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. What do you think that BG Pathum United will be thinking about playing the K League champions?
Well, last time you both played, I remember BG fans and the BG staff and everyone were really like, wow, these guys are incredible. They were really impressed by Hong Mingbo's like system and how well Ulsan just sort of controlled games. And I think that probably has assumed that it's only gotten better since then as he's had more time there and they look like they're, getting into the habit of winning now. So that can only be better. I think this is the group of death, and BG are aware of it. You've got the team that has dominated Japanese football for the past few years. You've got the team that is coming up to dominate Korean football, and you've got the team that has monopolized Malaysian football. This is probably the group of death, and that makes it really exciting.
Definitely does. Can I then finally ask you for your prediction for this first match?
Oh, just the first match? Okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty straightforward. I think it's an Ulsan win. I don't give Beach much of a chance over away against Ulsan. Definitely at home there's a chance, but away fixture I don't see it. I don't see
Well, you'd be
it.
surprised though. They've dropped points at home to a few teams recently, and some of their players have refused to do interviews with us because they want to concentrate on sort of getting back in form. So it might not. I mean, obviously they've got a game at the weekend. We're recording this before the weekend's games, so a win against Dejon, my team, might change the sort of the mood
That's
in the
quite
changing
interesting.
room.
The
Yeah,
BG's playing my team and Ulsan's playing your team. That's quite an interesting
yeah. It's
dynamic.
funny,
Yeah,
isn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny how all that works out, isn't it? So it might not be a foregone conclusion that Ulsan win at home because, like I said, they have dropped points to teams at home this season, including teams that have just come up from K League 2. So, all right, Gian, thank you so much for your time. Lovely to talk to you again, and I'm sure we'll speak to you again as the competition progresses.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.